So hello and welcome to another video. My name's Mike the Fish and this is what has changed since I did these basic guides. So this is going to be a zero editing, one take, effortless video. And why? I hear you all ask in perfect unison. Well, thank you for asking in such a majestic and unique manner. Well, I will respond with this. If there is zero effort I put into this video, then there is a good chance I will update it every time there is significant changes to the game. So, let's just get started. There's likely to be disaster. There's likely to be sniffing. Sorry about that. Still ill. There's likely to be fumbling over words. And I could indeed say something that's just plain wrong because as I said, a lot of that I catch in editing. So if I have said something that's wrong, please, if you see that, just make a comment about it below. That would be very helpful. So, starting with Thief. Well, nothing's changed because I just did the Thief video. So let's not start with Thief. Let's start with something else. Right, let's start with Engineer. There's a good massive change. So back in the day, I was really good on Engineer, but this was a couple of years back, long before I even made the basic guide. And actually, by the time I was making the basic guide, I was no longer pretty good at the rotation, as you may have seen. So what did I do? I swapped to a super simplistic guide version of the Engineer, which is a power build. And this build isn't quite as much damage, but it's much more reliable. And you're basically just auto-attacking with the bomb. Let's see. Those are the traits. Not going to go into them. Equipment is basically Zerk all the way down. Force Air. Zerk, 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 Scholar. You know, standard power stuff. And they use auto-attack with the bomb and press all these buttons. So that's the Engineer. Yeah, as I said, the Condi version. Later, I'm busy. The Condi version is, oh man, that's too shiny now. I really want to, no, don't press it. No, I'm not going to press it. So the Condi version is still much better than the power version. However, I found, particularly in raids, the power version is very reliable DPS. You just want to make sure you don't knock things back that Mesmers are pulling in with a big old bomb and you're Gucci. Right, moving on. What have we got? Ooh, Druid. This one's fun. So, what's changed since I made the Druid video? Well, I learned how to turn my microphone up. That was one thing. Yeah, sorry about that to everyone watching the Druid video and like putting the ear right next to the speaker and still not really achieving much. So, what's changed? Let's think. Well, there is a Condi Ranger build. I'm not going to actually go into it now, but I do actually have the gear for it. Essentially, it's, if I recall, it's 4 runes of the Trapper and 2 runes of the Nightmare, or 2 runes of the Trapper and 4 runes of the Nightmare, actually. Beg your pardon. But yeah, it's a very popular Condi Ranger build, which is a very decent damage build, which I don't even mention in that, because it didn't exist when I first made that video. It didn't exist at the time. So, I'm still using Zealots with Monk. I find myself just camping in the staff a lot. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. No, fake false alarm. Okay, moving on. As I said, no editing. Sorry, you get that kind of thing. Sniff, yes, we get it. You're ill, Mike. Move on. Yeah, I'm still using a couple of Magi's things here, just like a lot of people just go full Magi's now if they're doing healing. That's fairly standard. But as I said, there is a Condi Ranger build which is very competitive in terms of damage. What else has changed? Let me think. Oh yeah. I mean, sometimes I use this dog to, yeah, like for a little bit of extra healing, but most of the time I'll be on the pink mower and the electric wyvern for CC. So that is the Ranger / Druid. Moving on. What else we got? Ooh, Elementalist. This should be fun. What's changed? Okay, there is a fresh air build out there, which I'm actually not familiar with. Apparently, it's marginally better. Later, I'm busy. I keep selling you. Right, anyways. Oh my god, that shiny button. So there's I'm still using the build that I described in that video. But there is a build that uses fresh air and the staff, apparently, which is slightly better DPS. Yeah, fresh air. Yes, Scepter Warhorn build. This is the Quantify website. If you're not familiar with this, this is the benchmarks for, you know, the people that are working out these builds behind the scenes. Yeah, so there's a slightly better damage fresh air build. The staff is still well up there, so. Ooh, important. The food has changed. Now, I mentioned this in the Thief video, but if you've not seen the Thief video, then you'll want to take stock of this. So previously, we used plus damage food while moving, and now we're using bowls of sweet and spicy butternut squash. Soup. Don't forget the soup. Crazy man forgets the soup. Anyway. Yeah, I'm going nuts. Anyway, moving on. So that's the Ellie. Sniff. Right, moving on. Mesmer. What hath changed since I made the Mesmer video? Well, actually, a lot of the top groups now, I'm not even bothering with the setup that I still have on this character. Yeah, you see I resisted the urge to make that particular comment. He says, wasting time pointing out that he didn't make that particular comment. Yeah, so I'm still using this build with the minstrels and, you know, getting my boon duration up. I think what I said in that Mesmer build still follows. It's all about the boon duration. If you can get the boon duration as high as possible, I think a lot of the top groups, what they're doing is they're just adding 1 or 2 pieces to get their toughness up so that they're the tank, and then that's it. You know, the rest is still like full damage, and they're going full in your face, and you could do that, and particularly in raids, you know, if you can make that work, that's good, because you know, any way you can up your damage is good. But I still find this is a very useful build, particularly in groups that aren't, you know, 100%. So, moving on. What have we got? That's the fabled Necro of yonder year. Warrior. Right. What's changed on Warrior? There is an actual condition build for Warrior that isn't based on Phalanx Strength. The Phalanx Strength with the Greatsword, which I detailed in my Warrior build, has been nerfed very slightly since that, and now the condition build is undeniably better. Except in very rare circumstances. So, yeah, so stick to the Condi build, basically, is what I'm saying. This is all detail. I don't think any of this has changed with regards to the actual condition build, but yeah, the power build is a bit less now, so moving on. What hath we not covered? Dragon Hunter. So I'm switching to my Dragon Hunter now, knowing full well that it's completely pointless, because I have not looked at the Dragon Hunter profession since they changed some things. So here I am, and it's pointless. So let's look at this. So there is a build that is damage is good for large hitboxes. If we look, small hitboxes quite a lot worse. But as a build, it's completely different from what I'm currently using. I'm not going to go into it because, frankly, I just don't know much about it. I still think this the Guardian is a very good character outside of raids, and I would thoroughly recommend the video, the build that I run, and the build that, you know, this one, the worm with, you know, this one I talked about in my Guardian build video. However, not competitive. in terms of damage, like in raids. So this is for, like, fractals and open world, the bits of PvE that don't matter so much. Right, moving on. What have we got? We have the Necro. Oh, I'm so sad. So, nerf alert, they destroyed the Necro. I'm so sad. So the Necro was probably my most favourite, my most bestest creation. Like, I love this character. You see, I've even taken the stuff off of it because I just don't use it anymore. So what happened is, essentially, I detailed how you were supposed to go into Lich form, use the number 4 skill, and then go out of Lich form. And this would pop lots of minions that would all, like, attack for a long time, doing an absolute ton of bleed. And this, I didn't realize before the nerf actually hit, was a huge part of your damage. So what they did is they changed the minions so that they blow up after 30 seconds, which, they blow up, oh, that's a nice burst, but you lose sustained damage to the point that it's actually not worth using outside of the perfect epidemic usage. And I still love this skill, and I just wish this character was good. I really do, because I also redid the visuals since I did that, and I really like the way he looks. But anyway, so moving on. What have we got that is left? Ooh, Revenant. That could be fun. I think this is the last one, right? Yeah, this is the last one. So, Revenant. Oh, another nerf alert. Oh, God. Yes. So, when I first did this video, again with the sound, sorry about that. When I first did this video, the Revenant damage was competitive. It was really good. Basically, you could auto-attack, maybe press 2 occasionally, and your damage would be up there with, like, the best damage professions in the game. Now, it's like, it's been nerfed to the point that people only use the Revenant for utility. I still sometimes take this guy into fractals. It can be a bit fun, like particularly in the lava fractal. That's why I've actually got Ventari, because you can use this thing in the lava fractal to reflect all of the lava, the lava elementals projectiles during the split phase when you can't attack the boss, and that's very useful. So that's like one single edge case I can think of that was the last time I potentially used my Revenant. Super sad. Again, Arena nerfed it. Maybe it was a bit broken to just be auto-attacking and doing, like, one of the highest damage in the game, but, well, no longer. So I think that's about it. I think I've covered all the professions. Let's just have one last look. Yeah, there's some of my old characters, storage characters. But yeah, I seem to have been through them all now. So, yeah, what has changed in general? Well, the power food has changed, as I mentioned before. The food that, the seaweed salad has changed to the sweet and spicy butternut squash soup. Don't forget the soup. And oh, excuse me. I've completely lost my trail of thought. What else has changed in general? Let me think. Oh, the expansion's coming soon. That's quite big. I think I should stop talking now. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and as always, tell a friend.